symptoms like diarrhea and vomiting symptoms also to get tested.
The Ministry of Health has not scheduled a COVID case update for today. Emergency services are responding to a serious crash at the intersection of Broadley Downs and Gordonton Road, north of Hamilton. It's a single vehicle crash involving a motorbike, which happened just after 9:20 this morning. The area is closed to traffic and drivers should expect delays or avoid the area. A woman has suffered life-threatening injuries in an accident on a Flying Fox. This happened at Shelley Beach on Kaipara Harbour last night. The woman was flown to Auckland City Hospital in a critical condition. A search is underway for an overdue fisherman on the Coromandel Peninsula. The man set off in his boat from the Whangapoa boat ramp around 9 o'clock yesterday and was due back in the afternoon but didn't return. Police using a helicopter and the Coast Guard are looking for the man, and his missing boat, which is named Tubby, is described as a white 6-metre-long plastic boat with no top. Thousands of New Zealanders will spend the day in MIQ. Around 3,200 returnees are in managed isolation today, including 500 children. Staff have organised festive activities, stockings and even special meals. Michelle is one of them. She arrived at an Auckland MIQ on Tuesday and says she's looking forward to her Christmas lunch.
Tradition avocado salad, the Christmas meal kind of fresh berries and cherries, crackle lamb, safari.
In sport, Crusaders coach Scott Robertson's looking forward to some overdue home comforts this Christmas. The Robertsons have been renovating their home in Sumner, which needed earthquake repairs. And Robertson says it is finally ready. They can have the whole crew.
In QC, he'll carry on with hope over here. Robertson, home, student family, will be around here. The Christmas tour with sunshine.
Robertson's busy plotting his 2022 campaign, looking to go 6 straight years collecting a Super Rugby trophy since he was first appointed coach in 2017. And the coach of the Black Caps, Gary Stead, is preparing for another year of twists and turns in international cricket. The men were on the road for the best part of 4 months in 2021. Stead says it's important the mental health of the squad is at the forefront.
A lot of our players and staff have younger families now, and that makes it tough. I think it's going to become a little bit more and more in the world that you're going to see players sit outdoors.
That's News and Sport. I'm Tim Dow. Updating your Christmas Day forecast for Northland, Auckland and Coromandel. Fine. Just some isolated showers for Coromandel this afternoon. Waikato to Taihape, including Bay of Plenty, fine, but with scattered showers inland from this afternoon, some of those heavy and possibly thundery. Gisborne and Hawke's Bay, partly cloudy with isolated showers, becoming confined to the ranges this afternoon, with possible thunderstorms and hail. Taranaki to Kapiti, partly cloudy, the odd shower is possible from this evening. Wellington and Wairarapa, partly cloudy, the odd showers possible this morning and again this evening. Marlborough, Nelson, Buller and Westlands, partly cloudy, just a few scattered showers from this afternoon. Some could be heavy, but Westland will stay dry. Canterbury and Otago, partly cloudy, isolated showers inland this afternoon and again this evening. For Fiordland and Southland, fine, and at the Chathams, mostly cloudy with a few showers. And that's your Christmas Day forecast.
Call 0800 80 1080 to Talk Back with Tosh and Luke on News Talk ZB.
Rocking around News Talk ZB, the best Christmas time to back. You know well, number to call, here's a call to have a yak. Rocking around News Talk ZB with Tosh and Luke today. Everyone chatting merrily right now to have your say. Tim Beveridge, well done.
Outstanding. Good morning on a Merry Christmas morning to you with Luke and Tash on News Talk ZB 0800 80 1080. We would love to hear from you about your Christmas decorations, about what's happening at your place right now, and I think it's about time to start reliving some of the glory days. Why don't you talk to us about your favourite Christmas memories? Maybe it was something that went great, maybe it was something that went disastrously wrong. I do remember.
that's so funny that you said that, because I instantly go to those huge cataclysmic Christmas fails that have happened over the years.
Like what? Have you got one for us?
Oh, I've got one straight away. One year, we decided that we would do a hangi for Christmas. And we're not experienced hangi layers in our family.
Okay.
But we Googled it. We're like, how hard can it be? You know?
How hard?
So we dug a hole, did all the things that you're supposed to do, except in the morning when we got up, it started to rain. Right? And so we just carried on, and the fire obviously just did not get hot enough, so we put this food in the ground, waited for however many hours, took it all out of the ground. 6 hours later, completely raw, all had to go in the oven. I think we ate Christmas lunch at about 7 o'clock at night, to be honest, that year, but hey, it was a cultural experience.
That's fantastic. I do remember one year Mum tried to cancel Christmas because a corner of glaze, maybe like about a square inch, it fell off the ham, and that was it. It was ruined.
I'm starting to get an insight into how you like this, Tash.
Like what? What are you talking about?
Well, you just love your food, and you're very good with your food. In fact, Tash has done some Christmas baking, brought it into the studio this morning.
It is an annual tradition, the Christmas treats in the studio.
I just had the most delicious sort of gingerbread biscuit, just glorious.
Oh, thank you.
Christmas-tastic.
The candy cane shortbread looks super pretty, and I mean it's very tasty. The candy cane shortbread looks very pretty. The Linzer cookies with the lemon curd, the fresh lemon curd, also very tasty and light, refreshing. But those plain old looking gingerbread cookies with a slightly chewy centre.
If you wind it up, you have to play with it.
Are the slightly stealthy winner every Christmas. People can't get enough. They're just like, you crack open the cookie jar, there they go. Anyway.
Very delicious. Hey, speaking of Christmas decorations, got a great text in from somebody. Just heard you talking about grandparents and put ornaments on the tree for each of their grandchildren. My wife just gave birth to my mum's 75th grandchild. That would be a lot of ornaments.
That is a very Merry Christmas.
75 grandkids.
With an awful lot of presents. Let's go to the phones. Barbara, good morning and Merry Christmas to you. Great to have you join us.
Good morning, Tash, and a Merry Christmas to you too. I got a card from my cousin in Cheltenham yesterday, and she said, we're suffering a bit of a cold snap after a storm last weekend, which left much of Cumbria and Yorkshire cut off by snow with no electricity for a week. So she said they're not too bad in Cheltenham. She just has to de-ice the car before going to work. And I thought, oh, aren't we lucky to have Christmas Day in the sun?
Indeed, that's a very white Christmas. That's almost too white of a Christmas, but
well, it is really. So I've been busy this morning decorating the trifle, cooked the spuds from the garden for the potato salad, and I don't eat meat or of any kind, so I'm just going to have some grilled salmon with my salad.
Oh, delicious. I too am doing a salmon. I'm doing it on a cedar plank in the barbecue, so
lovely.
I tell you what, have an absolutely wonderful Christmas, Barbara, and
you too.
Enjoy that sunshine. Arlene, welcome to the show and a Merry Christmas to you. How are you going this morning?
Oh, just doing a trifle.
Oh, fantastic. Trifle appears to be the theme of the day.
I heard you guys, as soon as I heard your memories of past. Well, our memories, our tradition was always a hangi. Every year we had a hangi. But my husband was a hangi king, so there was never any fail. I didn't hear your fail at the end because I was talking to your producer. But anyway...
basically, I just didn't get it hot enough, and the food was raw when it came out.
So you use the microwave like everyone else does when it doesn't. Not our honey, so it's not like that. But it's such a memory of when the guys get up in the morning first thing and light the fire. We're in the kitchen doing trifles and stuff, and he's gone now. So I'm in my kitchen, and I brought my honey's from the honey shop.
Oh, there you go. That's fantastic. I tell you what, my stepdad, who left us a few years ago, this every Christmas, this Christmas we're doing his lamb. It's always referred to as Peter's lamb. Soaked in balsamic vinegar and rosemary, a bit of garlic, and onto the barbecue. Very, very particular method. So there's nothing like some of those food memories that actually bring our loved ones back into the present with us, even when they've departed. Thank you, Arlene. Have a very Merry Christmas. And a very good tip, should you in future do another hangi, Luke, just bung it in the microwave afterwards.
Oh, well, that's what we did. Yeah, absolutely. But it did feel a little bit deflating, to be honest, because we put a lot of hard work in. It's something that I want to revisit. So nice to hear that it can actually work.
Maybe just, next time check the weather report a few days ahead.
Well, hey, we live in New Zealand, so it can be glorious, and the weather report can say one thing, then on the day, it does something else. That's what it is, being a New Zealander, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. 0800 80 10 80. We'd love to hear your Christmas memories of spectacular successes or absolutely fabulous fails. Here's the question, once you dug the hangi pit, did you then fill it back in, or is it still there? Can you go again?
No, you can. We filled it in. But actually, we were speaking to someone earlier who was talking about composting in a hole rather than using plastic composting bins. So I'm thinking that your compost hole could also... No, you can't hangi where you compost.
No.
There's got to be a rule about that.
I think that...
Do not hangi where you compost. Everybody knows that.
That might be shortening the ecosystem cycle just a little bit.
Sure, yeah.
just straight from one place to the
Yeah,
next.
this seems a little bit charred, this fertilizer.
Oh my word.
Love to hear your Christmas traditions, your Christmas fails, or Christmas successes, actually. And what those callers were just sharing is kind of the Christmas memories around loved ones. We had Barbara on the phone talking about missing her family in England, and maybe this year you've actually lost somebody close to you, and you might have a memory about Christmas that comes back to you because of that loved one. Why don't you give us a call? We'd love to hear from you, 0800 80 10 80, or text 9292.
Indeed. I do, it's interesting, there are certain types of Christmas decorations that I think always have a special place on the tree. The baby's first decoration. That's a nice one, when they join. We've had a few of those this morning. But I also, I love it when somebody passes on, kind of a commemorative decoration, something that's kind of like, oh yeah, we'll put that on the tree and then there they are. Not bad.
A full
like
clay model of Dad hanging from the tree. Life size.
Maybe it could replace the star on top. Is that too? Oh, there's a question. Are you a star on top or an angel on top?
Oh, we're definitely an angel on top. Always have been an angel on top.
Yeah.
Yeah, a star's nice though, and I like the symbolism around both, to be perfectly fair. But we've got a beautiful angel. We've had it since our daughters were born, and it now feels like a bit of a tradition in our house. What about you?
Yeah, I'm a star. I'm a star on top. But I don't know that I put that much thought into it. I think it was at the time I ended up back in New Zealand unexpectedly and had to decorate a tree, and I didn't have a star is what I found.
You didn't have a topper.
I didn't have a topper. I didn't have a tree topper.
Yeah.
And that was stars were what were available.
Sure.
You're on News Talk ZB with Luke and Tash on your Christmas morning. 0800 80 10 80. Give us a call. Let us know what's on top of your tree. And 9292 on the text.
The three men go to the king and tell him about the star that they saw that wasn't there before. And then something about following it. And when they follow it, they find Jesus. And then an angel tells them not to go back to the king because the king wants to kill Jesus. And the king doesn't want to lose his throne.
Merry Christmas, New Zealand.
Merry Christmas, New Zealand.
News Talk ZB with Luke and Tash. We're just having a little bit too much fun in the studio there. But hey, look. Luke,
That's us having fun in the studio.
well, look, to be fair, it's not hard to have fun with you because our friendship goes back a few years, and it's really just like catching up with a bit of a mate and letting other people listen in, which means it's kind of lovely to have everybody here. But I am missing my old mate Peter Wolfkamp, who often Peter and I spend Christmas morning together here at ZB. But Peter, you've very kindly agreed to let us chat to you this morning. Merry Christmas.
Hey, Merry Christmas to you too, Tash, and to you, Luke. Thank you, and yes, it would have been lovely to be with you, but slightly different priorities for me this year.
Look, everybody deserves a day off once in a while. We'll let you have it. Tell us what's going on at your place this morning.
Tomorrow.
Wow, there you go.
But that's all right. Look, I was just halfway through flipping a pancake when Josh called. Which was my second one. My first one was an utter disaster, but the second one I think will be absolutely fine.
The first one's always a disaster, though, isn't it? That's the one you offer up.
As a sacrifice to the cooking gods. Yeah.
It's the one that allows you to get the temperature and the butter ratio in the pan just right. That's my theory. Jolly good. So what else is happening this morning?
Well, look, we've had a fairly leisurely kind of start to the day, and I know in most households Christmas morning is frantic and lots of rushing around. Our boy's a little bit on now, so sleep in is a good idea. So we've had a leisurely sort of wake up to each other for a while, exchange some gifts, which was lovely. Now we'll cook, then we'll get into preparing food. And later on this afternoon, my family, or my part of the family, will come, or most of us. So we'll sit down this afternoon with about, I think it's 16 or 17 people outside. I mowed the lawns yesterday, the garden's looking tidy, the umbrella's up, so it'll be Christmas with my family. So
it always feels good mowing the lawns, doesn't it? Such a lovely feeling.
And I've become a little obsessive, as people do with their lawn. So I mowed on Monday just to get it down to roughly the right height, let a little bit of growth up, and then mowed them again yesterday. And I think, well, it's not great, but it's not too bad.
Hey Pete, you've been a builder since 1987, which incidentally was the first time the last time there was timber in New Zealand for builders to build. In all seriousness, I mean, what's it going to be like for the building industry in 2022? Because I mean, things are getting pretty tough.
Actually, funny you mention that, because the instant memory that pops into my mind is I can remember working with Tom. We were building a house on the shore. We got it all filmed up, closed in, and there was, I think it was strikes at that time where they made plasterboard, and so you couldn't get plasterboard, and then suddenly they'd stop striking and do a production run, and we drove to the factory to grab the plaster. It was still warm when it came out of the machine. So that we could carry on. So in that sense, look, shortages are not something that most of us have been around for a little while haven't experienced before, but it is fair to say that this is extraordinary times, and a combination of sort of factories closing down. We're a little island, the bottom of the world, so no one wants to send their ships here. 90% of our building materials have some sort of overseas component to them. Yeah, it's challenging, all right.
Does that mean that it's perhaps not going to be the great summer of DIY here in New Zealand?
Oh, look, I tell you what, as it happened, might have been in one of those large stores during the course of this week. And, you know, I mean, look, there's still plenty of stuff there. And it's always funny, the days before Christmas, watching people drive out and there's, you know, decking timber strapped down onto the trailer. Or my neighbours the other day picked up a little truck and they were tipping off, I think it looked like garden mulch and topsoil and so on, so getting that little guard bed in. It's not like there's not anything. You have to be a little bit more organised, and you may not get exactly what you want, but most stuff is there most of the time. I think where it's had an interesting impact is, you know, for trade people, Christmas is often that I want the kitchen and I want the roof on, I want to be closed in and so on. And a lot of those sorts of deadlines haven't been able to be achieved simply because, you know, product's not available or everybody's running behind. You know, lockdown has had a fairly significant impact on the industry.
We might end up with the block sort of being a recycle challenge next year, do you think?
I tell you what, the Greek part of me would go, actually, I'd be all for that. Yeah, no, I think that'd be a great element. I will put that to the producers.
Oh, very good, thank you.
Anything in particular that, other than your pancakes, that you're looking forward to enjoying on the table this afternoon, Pete?
I tell you what, with my family, we're fairly collaborative, hopefully, with Christmas Day. So I think there's always that delight, you know, like my brother will bring something which will be, you know, I've never tasted before. My older sister does a remarkable chocolate dessert, which kind of, we saw it during the week, and it was kind of, you know, bouncing around topic of who's going to make what and so on. And it was eventually someone said, "Are you going to do your chocolates?" And we all burst out laughing. It was like, somebody blinked first. It's like playing chicken. So I think it'll be, and then there's a big tradition in our family around the potato salad. So whoever presents the potato salad, there's a lot of scrutiny on that person today.
Is it a family recipe that just each person has to take their turn, you know, seeing if they make it to scratch, up to scratch, or is it just do people get to interpret?
No, I think it's one of those things. It's been Mum's staple for a long time. This year, Mum's not able to do one. She's going to be with us, and so in a sense she becomes the head judge. Jesus, she's listening. I'm in big trouble now. So, and for the person that's preparing it, I won't mention on the radio, the press is on. It's just enormous.
Well, I hope someone's preparing it, Pete, because listening to you this morning, I'm not sure if anyone's been given the job. Surely you'd know who's making that.
Oh, no, we do know. I'm going to keep that a secret at this stage.
All right, fair enough.
Preserving the reputation, but I do look forward to a report card. You know, just you know, I think that'll be. Mind you, I'm a little bit worried the same myself about how my lamb's going to turn out on the barbecue. I still have that little pesky ghost in. Yeah, but I have this pesky ghost in the back of my head, Pete, just kind of going, is the gas bottle full enough? Is it full enough?
We had exactly that discussion this week too, and it was like, right, what do? Do I ring my other brother and go, hey, bring a spare bottle with you just in case?
Mm-hmm.
Do we try and test it, and how reliable is the testing? You know, the pouring water on side.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, does that really work? And yeah, if not, we're snookered, and you are probably as well.
I tell you what, I took it off the hook, I shook it, I tried the water trick, I shook it one more time.
Did the water trick work?
Well, it wasn't definitive.
Well, if only you could take these things to the gas station and get them filled. That would be handy, wouldn't it?
The trouble is that it was 9 o'clock last night, Luke, when I was trying to figure out whether or not it was full.
Oh yeah, that's a little bit too late, Tish.
It is a little bit too late. Hey, I've got everything else under control. So you know, worst comes to worst, the sun's warm today. It'll be fine.
Oh, it's not Christmas if there's not some little culinary disaster in there somewhere, isn't it?
Indeed. Hey, well, I'm sorry that you're missing out on the Christmas treats in studio this morning.
I can only imagine. I can still smell the similar buns that you normally do.
First time a barbecue's been in the News Talk ZB studio. Oh, great.
I'll put it down by the time I'm there tomorrow morning at 6.
No, it'll be fine. We won't leave a trace. I'm sure Hosking left the vacuum cleaner around here somewhere too, so we'll give the place a tidy up. Hey,
a few crumbs will be alright.
A very, very Merry Christmas to you, Pete. Thanks so much for joining us on the phone, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, totally Merry Christmas. Thanks.
News Talk ZB with Luke and Tash on your Christmas, and my old mate Pete Wolfkamp, he will of course be back in studio tomorrow morning for all of your Boxing Day DIY queries. But for now, 0800 80 10 80, give us a call. Maybe you've got a DIY project planned for Boxing Day. We won't be able to help you, but we'll encourage you a lot.
Oh, we could give it a shot. Yeah, there's something about Peter Wolfkamp. When you speak to him, you feel like you should be saying, putting a deck down, you know, like you kind of want to go there, don't you, with him? So he's kind of the nation's builder.
I sometimes have to resist the urge of sending him photos of my little DIY projects at home, you know, just hoping that I, you know, might get like an approving kind of, oh, well done, good job.
I actually have to sharpen a chisel. First time I've had to sharpen a chisel. What an unusual thing to have to do. And I was going to ask him, like, well, that's random. What a random thing to ask Peter Wolfkamp, but now I'm wishing I had.
We'll make
get him back.
Maybe we can get him back. Okay, a couple of great tips coming in on the text, so 9292. We'd love to hear your thoughts about your Christmas decorations, your great Christmas memories, fails or success stories, and this very straightforward tip that's just come in when it comes to the gas bottle, which is of course my burning anxiety. I know I sound calm and light-hearted on air, but in the pit of my stomach and not of anxiety about whether or not there's enough gas in the gas bottle.
You're an absolute mess.
This tip here, we weigh the gas bottle. It's genius.
I'm not sure if, I mean, that is genius, but that's a lot of work. See, when you first get your gas bottle, you've got to take it into the to the kitchen or the bathroom, put it on the scales, and then keep a log, and then